Hello everyone, I'm the Masterman74 back again doing another Destiny Prison of Elders Skolas' Revenge soloed guide. This is the third set of rotation modifiers. This time we have Brawler and Juggler on. So not the nicest of rotations here. So just for all intents and purposes I'm going to show my loadout. Something like the Icebreaker would actually be pretty good. And unfortunately I'll make the stupid decision of switching it out for Xalo Supercell, which was what I used in the previous set of rotation modifiers. And I think I only realised when I get into the arena how bad of a mistake that actually is. Also, I'm going to be running this with the Ruin Rings exotic arm piece, so you actually get extra heavy ammo. And, well, you get extra heavy ammo from heavy ammo drops, and they're supposed to drop more frequently. I have a bit of a mare trying to decide what I actually want. But anyway, with all that being said and done, I'm going straight into the arena now. So Brawler means that you get extra melee damage against enemies. But Juggler means you don't get ammo drops for your currently equipped weapon when you get a kill. So I think it's at this point where I'm like, oh shit, Juggler's on. Let's just change it up a little bit back to Icebreaker. Because the good thing about Icebreaker is that it regenerates its own ammo over time, so that pretty much negates Juggler, which is why it's such a good weapon to have, if you actually have it of course. But most people probably won't, because you have to complete the Sunrise bounty from Zavala in the tower, and basically what that means is you have to do a Nightfall strike. You have to do it in the time limit and get a gold medal achieved, and it's not very nice to do, to be honest. It's a really ass bounty to do, and obviously in my case I had to do it all solo, and even then it's not a guaranteed drop chance, it's all RNG, so you might put a ton of work in doing a Nightfall strike and you don't get anything out of it. So it's ass, to say the least. It's not very nice, but it's doable in certain situations, and obviously if you have people to play with, then that's better, because then you have more of a chance of, you know, completing the Nightfall. So as you see, I think I'm making use of Brawler here because you get extra melee damage. Last time it was actually the enemies that get extra melee damage against you, but this time it's a role reversal, as it were. So as my TV wants to turn itself off on me, this is the first phase. I should have commented on this sooner. Basically around the map there's going to be these weird looking servitor guys, and what we have to do is kill the servitor to weaken Skolas' overshield, and once his overshield is gone, then we have the opportunity to damage him. Otherwise we're just essentially pea shooting him, which is not nice, because then it means we're not doing any damage whatsoever, and it's going to take a really long time for anything to actually happen. So at this point it's more or less a where the hell is Skolas at, and it's probably on the far side of the arena right now, away from our line of sight, and he's actually right there, so just shoot at him when you can, and then of course we've got to find the servitor, kill him, and begin to weaken Skolas again. So part of what I'm doing here is actually killing the enemies that spawn in. Now I guess the downside to that is that more enemies would spawn in later on, but at least it gives you the chance to have, say, heavy ammo drops or super energy recharged if you need it. So there, for instance, there's a heavy ammo drop, and I've already got max heavy ammo as it is, so I don't really need it. And I'm making good use of the Icebreaker there, since it regenerates its own ammo, and just trying to back up to the point where I can still hurt him and get a good amount of precision shots on him. But you know, when this phase is done, because it will say that the servitor bonds are broken, so at that point it's going to begin phase 2, and phase 2 is basically Skolas has this devouring essence that acts on you, and you have to, I believe you have to pass it on to the other people in your fire team. And this was supposed to be a 3-player activity, by the way, so you're supposed to pass it on to your teammates, and then you get cleansed of it, and it keeps happening throughout the course of the arena. So it promotes you being very close with your teammates, even though you might want to split up. But as you see, the strategy is to sword block with a Devouring Essence, and that way you survive. And I believe I mentioned in the previous set of rotation modifiers video that there's a glitch that happens for me in this one. And I believe you would have saw it, because usually if you've seen my previous videos, you see that the Devouring Essence takes a good 6 ammo off the sword ammo supply. But this time it only took like 1. And that's a bit weird, since that's not really supposed to happen. So either the ammo count is bugged, or somehow for whatever reason the game decided to take 1 ammo off instead of like 6. So it's a bit weird, but that's good for me, because then it means you're not depleting the sword ammo any. And to be honest with you, I have no idea why that would have happened. So it could be the fact I've not died throughout the course of the entire arena, or whatever. I honestly don't know. It just happened out of nowhere, so that's news to me, to be honest. And there's my expert level trying to no scope with the icebreaker, which obviously doesn't work unless you're super MLG pro standards and use like masking tape or something to just tape over the aim reticule so you know where it is, which is a good strategy for doing Halo legendary or schools on, to be honest. Which, don't even get me started on that. I was suicidal enough to get through Halo 1, 2 and 3 lasso, and that's just something I never want to do ever again in my entire life, because that was a load of fucking bullshit. But that's a different video for a different day, sadly. So this is the first critical objective we have to do. There's mines that we have to dismantle. Dismantle mines is probably the worst objective to do, since you have to get from place to place and there's only one of you, and the mines can spawn in really quickly to the point where it basically causes a arena failure, or a round failure I guess I should say, and you have to start the whole fight all over again from the beginning, which sucks ass, to be honest. But you know what, it is what it is at the end of the day. So right there, because I was talking, I would have forgotten about the Devouring Essence. That's why I decided early on to actually do post commentaries over these videos, because I knew I wouldn't be able to micromanage commentary and gameplay and all that good stuff. So at that point it's like, wait for the third mine to spawn in, get to it. They're always in the same locations, it's just the order that's different, and I'm fairly sure they don't spawn in the same order every time. So you just gotta be on your toes, and I think I mentioned this quite a lot as well, but there might be legendary armor pieces that gives you extra agility or a speed boost if you get ability kills. So in this case, you know, that's helpful, but I don't think I really utilised it in this case. So here we go. It's just like, yeah, Devouring Essence is off right now. Now it's going to be on me again. But the critical objective is definitely the worst part of this arena. So just take your time, I guess. That's the best advice I can give. As you see, I'm playing this a bit cautiously. I'm running around, I'm trying to kill the enemies. I would recommend that you could possibly pull off a super when you're on the final mine, just to basically kill some of the enemies. But you know, that's personal preference, I guess. I didn't do it here just because, you know, I might want to pull off an emergency super if I absolutely need to, but it shouldn't have to come to that. But in this case it's like, yep, you know, Skolas is right there, so went away. Bastard, he hit me, so went away. This can happen sometimes as well, where it says that Skolas taints a Guardian's Light, but it doesn't actually do anything. So I don't know if that's necessarily a line of sight problem, or if that's just it picks a random Guardian from the fire team to devour, but then because we're playing by ourselves it doesn't actually do anything. Though I wouldn't really know, because I'm not an expert on the mechanics of the boss fight. All I know is the process, shall we say, and the process in this case is sword block when the Devouring Essence reaches 0 to absorb the damage, or block the damage rather, and survive it. Rinse and repeat, shoot Skolas a lot, and dismantle the mines when they spawn in, since that's going to be what we absolutely need to do to survive, which is a pain in the ass to be honest, but we can do it. Again, that was a lucky time for Skolas' devouring effect to not actually do anything to us when I was getting my ass handed to me by those enemies, but I think I test the idea there, and it's like, maybe it works, maybe it is a line of sight problem, because he definitely didn't see me, but is that just affecting someone randomly on the team and it doesn't do anything? That time he had the direct line of sight. I tried to run away, but no, that didn't work. Still trying to kill the enemies, but I guess that would just cause more enemies to spawn in later, so yeah, it's like a win-lose, lose-win situation. It helps you get a super, it helps you with heavy ammo drops, but then more enemies spawn in when Skolas' health reaches a certain amount. But here it's like, okay, just gotta block the devouring essence. Skolas is right there, so just gotta get those precision shots off on him. Icebreaker's got close to max ammo at this point they can possibly have, so use that to our advantage. Hopefully get some kills with it, because then it drops, you know, primary or special ammo. So it's like, oh, there's a Drake right there, he didn't notice me. Well, get Vision of Confluence kills there, and then try and kill all the other enemies so they don't cause us any hassle whatsoever, and we get Skolas in a nice advantageous position to continuously headshot him. So at this point I'm wondering where he is. I think about getting to a better position to sword block so he doesn't basically insta kill us afterwards. So one thing I should note about the sword block as well is that you do have to have a certain amount of health for it to work. If you have really low health, then there's every possibility that the game will kill you, even though you are blocking the devouring essence. So I know at this point that Skolas is going to basically get to a certain amount of health where the second critical objective is going to spawn in. So at this point I'm playing it carefully. Usually what I would like to do is get the critical objective to happen when you don't have a devouring essence on you, just because you might have to micromanage the time that you have to, you know, dismantle a mine, or, you know, run to the next mine with blocking the devouring essence, which just takes, you know, time away. So in this case it's just like, okay, there's a Vandal there that was causing me grief, and of course more enemies have spawned in. Use the Brawler modifier to our advantage there. Doesn't have a line of sight on me, so managed to not get another devouring essence on me. And sometimes I think I have a rocket launcher, because I usually like to have the Hazing Vengeance, but I was like, oh, you have a sword. Yeah, you can't have the Hazing Vengeance if you're using, you need the sword to survive. So yeah, that's the situation. I'm just, again, still playing it very carefully. But at this point I'm like, okay, I definitely want to finish this, so sword block this, and then figure out where Skolas is, get the headshots on him with something like Icebreaker. Let's begin the final set of critical objectives to defuse, and then just finish this. So now it's like, where the hell did Skolas go? Well, there's a Dreg over there, and then it's like, yeah, you get a kill. Of course, there's some primary ammo there, though I would recommend you probably use the Icebreaker if you can. I mean, if you even have it. If you don't, then all it means is you have to be very careful about the ammo that you're using. But in this case, what my advice is just stay near the middle of the arena, because you might have to go to the extreme left or the extreme right of the arena immediately, and to basically defuse the mine. And getting there quick is imperative. And as you can see, the second mine already spawned in. Now it's like keeping an eye on the devouring essence and Skolas shooting at you and all the other enemies shooting at you. I wanted to throw a grenade but didn't have one. The final mine could spawn in any moment now, so it's like, you know where it's going to be, just head to it as fast as you can. Don't give a crap about anybody else, anything else that's going on. Just get your backside to where that mine's going to be. And as you can see, thank God it hasn't spawned in immediately, because we have plenty of time to defuse it. And that's like best case scenario, is you actually are able to, you know, defuse the mine in a decent amount of time, because they don't spawn the mines in quick succession of each other, which they can do. So a lot of, I would say, luck is needed for this, though hopefully you don't need luck. So in that case it's just a bit of, I guess, strategy, but you know, again, you might just need luck on your side as well, because I don't know the perfect physics about why these you know, mines spawn in the way they do and when they actually do. So at this point I'm like, okay, I'll pull out a super, I'll try and screw Skolas up with it, just repeatedly hit him, and then run away, block the devouring essence, and hope I survive. And of course what happens now is Skolas dies. I didn't even need to block the devouring essence, he died, and it was beginning to take out of my heavy ammo pool at that point, so it's like it depleted enough ammo for it to start counting down ammo normally, so the devouring essence would take, you know, 6 ammo away. But that took me like 16 minutes to do, which is pretty good to be honest, and he only dropped a house banners anyway, so I was just looking around for any other stuff that he might have dropped, but at this point it's like, no, I have done it, so thank God for that. That is Skolas' Revenge soloed completely, because that's all of the rotation modifiers covered, and of course the run-up is the exact same every time you do it, and the run-up is an independent video, so you can check that out if you really want to. So here I do the customary grab the dead ghost. I somehow got, you know, propelled off like a curved bit of geometry, so I'll just show that dead ghost because it's always there, and if you never noticed it before then you get a grimoire card for it. And here's the point where it's like, okay, what loot do we get? And of course we get the Etheric Light, Weapon Core and Armor Core, and I also got Mark of the Kelslayer, which is a weapon, an armor piece I would always got, and Servant of Axor Fusion Rifle. Dreadfang clipping through the chest, that's very professional there, Bungie. So Servant of Axor Fusion Rifle, the Mark of the Kelslayer, which is a drop I've pretty much got every single time I've done this, and of course the rewards for beating the Skolas' Revenge arena. So usually the weapon and armor core would have been turned into Variks for a weapon or an item, but of course they've changed the way it works, and unfortunately that only gives you House of Judgment reputation now. So as you see, I actually didn't die a single time throughout the entire of that arena, which is pretty damn good to be honest. So with that, I'll be dismantling my shit now. I can't speak, I couldn't speak in the last one, but I just checked the postmaster to make sure I didn't, you know, get anything else, and I didn't. So basically everything that you see, that Servant of Axor, the Mark of the Kelslayer and the other drops, were things that I actually got from the arena. There's nothing else that I obtained there, so I'll do the customary dismantle everything, and I'm going to be rounding off the video right here. So hopefully you found this helpful. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe and all that. Thankfully this is it now, I've covered all the House of Wolves arenas. So have a great day, see you later.